Welcome back to another edition of the Solid Sports Video Blog. As this is episode 135. Today's date is August 29th, 2020. I'm Troy Westhead. Thank you for watching right here on YouTube, right here on the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. Very eventful week in the world of sports, and not just the world of sports, all over the world, all over this country again, as we have to once again take a look at ourselves as a nation. As everybody heard about the Jacob Blake shooting, I think it was on Sunday night, and it shook up the whole United States again. We'll talk more about that because it links to sports, so can't avoid that. Also, condolences to Chadwick Boseman, I'm sorry. Basically, I call him Black Panther because that's what I know him from. But I didn't know he played Jackie Robinson. But he tragically died. I think I want to say sometime yesterday. I just found out this morning from colon cancer. I didn't know he was battling colon cancer. So we'll talk a little bit about him later in the show as well. I wanted to talk about Kobe Bryant this week, and I'm going to touch on Kobe. This is supposed to be Kobe's week, but it seems like every time Kobe ready to be celebrated, something happens, man. I don't think that's not a coincidence. But I'll give my thoughts on Kobe Bryant. We'll talk about some NFL news. Bruce Arians, what he said, what Brian Urlacher said this week, tweeted this week. I think it was a tweet. But first we're going to start in Major League Baseball. The big story to me this week is the Yankees. The Yankees kind of struggling now. They lost 6 straight. I think they lost the doubleheader to the Mets yesterday. The Mets are back playing again. You know, they had escaped with the coronavirus, but they back on the field. Yankees are supposed to be one of the favorites, definitely in the American League, but sort of struggling. But they have a lot of injuries. Like Aaron Judge just went back on the injured list again. Gleyber Torres has been out. You know about Severino, Paxton, the pitchers, they're out. Tanaka has been up and down. So the Yankees got to get it together, but they got a lot of injuries though, so maybe that's why they struggle. They got off to a wonderful start. Now the Rays have taken over the American League East, which is a team that just keeps staying consistent and winning. But around the rest of the league, three-way tie in the Central with the Indians, the Twins, and the Chicago White Sox. Out west, the Oakland A's have taken over the West, and look like I'm going to be wrong about the Angels. They're in last place. I don't know if they're going to catch back up and win that division. So that might be one of my wrongs right there. The National League, my Braves is holding on in the competitive NL East, excuse me. The Central, the Cubs, even though they has cooled off a little bit, they still lead the Central, and I think out west in the National League is the Dodgers starting to pull away. I think they have the best record in baseball right now. And the Dodgers is one of the teams that protested this week. As you notice, a lot of the black players in baseball starting to speak out. As yesterday was Jackie Robinson Day. Of course, Jackie Robinson, for those that don't know, integrated baseball, probably one of the first black athletes to integrate any of the major sports. Had a major impact on not just the African American community, but in the sports period. Someone to look up to. He was a good player. He played in the Negro Leagues, I think, for a long time. Usually baseball celebrate his day in April. But you know, this has been a historic week anyway. In civil rights, Martin Luther King, his "I Have a Dream" speech was anniversary just passed. They said it was 54 years ago. That seems, you know, to me that seems not too long ago. I mean, I'm 37 years old, but just think it would be at least 60 some years ago. We just seem, you know, don't seem so close. Yeah, that was 54 years ago. On Capitol Hill. Of course, the famous speech that's been played. I know it's been played on TV a lot, probably lately, but I used to see it a lot as a kid in school, especially elementary school. So it's been a historic week anyway. It was Kobe Bryant's birthday. Like I said, we'll talk about Kobe a little later on. So it was Mama Week. The NBA was supposed to celebrate that. Other than this happening with the Jacob Blake shooting. But I was surprised at baseball. Of course, you know, the Milwaukee Bucks started the protest as far as games. But the Lions in the NFL, they canceled practice. They were the first team to cancel their practice. And that was been happening all over the NFL and all the sports. NHL shut down games as well. So it spread it all over sports. But the Brewers, of course, they said they was inspired by the Bucks, so that was the first game the Brewers was supposed to play. I think the Cincinnati Reds or somebody, and they shut their game down. Now baseball has probably been a couple of games a day. Teams have been protesting, so they shut the games down. But then making them back up in doubleheaders. So it's big games still on every day in baseball, but a few teams. Dodgers, as I mentioned, was one of those teams with Mookie Betts. He was real upset about it, so his team got behind him and they canceled their game with the San Francisco Giants. So baseball, a little surprised that they decided to join the pros. Of course, in baseball, I think the African American percentage is only about 5% African American in the baseball now. The hockey is less than that. I think it's like 1% in hockey. So I was surprised those two leagues went all the way and started protesting as well. So, like I said, all this stuff is great, but I just hope it's really pushing for a change. I really hope so. But I commend baseball. I commend the black players for stepping up and using their platform, using their voice. Because baseball, you know, that union and everything else is just so much to deal with. But it's good to see the players step up. Let's talk about the NFL now. To continue this crazy weekend of protesting and everything going on. The NFL, like I said, they ain't even stopped playing games yet, but they've been canceling practices. But Bruce Arians, the coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, had some interesting words to say about protesting and everything else. But basically, he's against protests. He thinks protest doesn't really solve anything. That's basically what he said in so many words. And it ain't, I mean, I don't go as far to say that protest doesn't do anything, because you're seeing what it did, what the Bucks did. Just take the Bucks example. They probably wouldn't have been able to get in hold of the lieutenant governor of Wisconsin, and the governor, I believe, they talked to the district attorney of Wisconsin. I think they talked to them to see if they can make some changes here. I think the cops should be charged. I'm gonna get deep into that situation, what I think about it. But Bruce Arians basically said he ain't canceling practices, he's not protesting. But if you look at Bruce Arians' background, I don't think it's like he's against anything, because he's just saying just get the job done, just make changes. Like, protest is not going to change anything. I understand how you could have that stand, but he said, I forgot, like I think he was a kid back in the 60s when everything was going on there. You know, he used that as an example, like it was protests and stuff from his hometown, and nothing really got done. You know, so he's more about action. You know, and then to look at if somebody brought this up, I don't think this matters that much to me. But he's one of the only coaches he got a black defensive offensive coordinator. Like, most of his staff is black. So they said, and I don't believe Bruce Arians is against like Black Lives Matter and all. That's what everybody going to, but I think he sort of got a point with the protesters, because the protesters really initially it don't automatically solve a problem, but it does bring awareness and make people think about making changes. But I kind of understand where he's coming from on that end. But what Brian Urlacher said, for the Chicago Bears, former linebacker, famous linebacker for the Bears, Hall of Famer, He basically said that what he said is just wrong. He was like, basically, he had a long tweet, but I'm just gonna basically break it down. He just basically said, nobody should be upset about this, about the Jacob Blake shooting. He was being apprehended. He had a sexual assault charge, and he had a knife in the car and all that. But to me, all that's irrelevant. He still could have been taken without being shot in the back 7 times. Like, now I haven't watched the video. I can't stomach to watch the video. I've heard enough about it. I don't think I need to watch the video. But basically, it was 3 cops trying to detain him, and they couldn't. He got to his car door, and then let alone, like I said, I think he had his kids with him. You know, the 3 children. I mean, I'm just gonna guess as a father, you know, that he was trying to check on his kid. I don't know what the situation was, you know, as far as that, him trying to get in his car, but still, like, forget all that. Like, he could have been taken in without being shot if that was the case, you know. I don't think he was going to reach for the knife. I'm just going to assume that I don't think he was going to reach for the knife. But I just, like I said, it's just sad, man. Like, people are tired, man. Like, as a black man, we're tired of being treated differently. The system is it's a oppressed system. So a lot of things have to change, you know. Like I said, the NBA is trying to do that. I'm gonna talk about that. But this situation, I was gonna wait, but I might as well just I'm touching on it now. I just think it's inexcusable. Those cops should be in jail. As simple as that. Those cops should be in jail right now, period. They should be charged with attempted murder, and that's the end of that. Should be no ands and buts about it. Just for example, like somebody used a great example. I think it was Shannon Sharp. I've been watching them all week. Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless on Fox Sports 1, Undisputed. And he basically said, you know, because everybody always say, well, we're killing each other. And I think we need to band together a little bit more and care about each other more. I've said that. But, you know, like, say if just for example, I go out here and shoot somebody and kill them, or whatever. If they got my name, they coming to lock me up. Like, they not, you know, it's not gonna be an investigation or investigating and all that first. Like, as soon as they get a name, they coming for you. You see what these people did on tape. Like, it's no question what they done. Like, what investigation? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's obvious what they done. There should be no investigation. We waiting for this. No, they should be in jail. They should be already in jail waiting for the investigation. You know, but if it was like me, like any other black man, or, you know, you go shoot somebody, as long as they have a name, they coming for you. They come and ask you questions. You probably gonna sit in jail until they really clear you of the crime. But this is on tape. You know, so what's the problem? Why they ain't been charged yet? And Breonna Taylor, that situation, like, them cops still ain't in jail or haven't been charged or anything. So I mean, and that's starting to get more traction as well now, which I think. I wanted to say, I was with a friend of mine. We was watching this guy on YouTube. I wish I knew his name, because I would say his name. You go check him out. He was a deep brother. He's from here in Baltimore. Heavy set guy with a beard. I wish I remembered his name. But anyway, he had some great points. Like, when Breonna Taylor, yeah, it was a lot of uproar when it first happened, but it's sort of, you know, it's not get the same vitriol as George Floyd. And he was saying maybe because she's a woman. And honestly, I couldn't dispute that. Like, I was like, yeah, he's kind of right. Like, when it happened to a black man, it's more of an outrage. When it happened to a black, even though it was outrage for her, but it haven't been as strongly, you know. And I think he was right about that. And I think those cops should definitely be in jail what they did to her. They first of all, they was in the wrong house. Like, and then, you know, just to go in there and just do what they did, it was just terrible. Like, that situation to me is one of the worst. You know, what happened to George Floyd is terrible as well. And that sparked a lot of things. For somebody to just sit on your neck for 8 minutes and I think it was 42 seconds. just nuts, man. Like it's just they need to stop it. Then they say since that happened, since the George Floyd they happened, there's been 100 more of these type of things happening. You just don't see them on tape. So I mean, it's not being. I mean, that's honestly that's a sad thing too. Like it has to get people to really understand. You have to actually see it with your eyes, I guess. When you just can't pick up a newspaper and read about this stuff that happens every day, man. Or it's just terrible, man. Like police. Like I said, I've had my situation with the police. Like I haven't been to jail, and never did any crimes on anything, but I've had situations when I was, profiled, and I guess I'm lucky I was unscathed. I didn't get shot or I didn't get beat or anything, And I'm not gonna tell these stories today. I tell them though, eventually. I told them to people that I know. Like it's been times I've been scared for my life with the police. So especially here in Baltimore with the corruption within the police station. Nobody trusts the police here. And I'm sure that's like it is in probably a whole lot of places here in this country. You just don't trust them, man. Like it's some good ones, and it's sad because there's some good officers out here. I had a situation a couple of months ago, and the police had to come here, and they was very nice, and they both was white policemen too. And they didn't racially profile me or dismiss me. I felt like they really was trying to help me, but it's rare, what I mean, which is sad, man. Like at first I was against defunding the police. Now, man, yeah, go ahead, because they're not. I mean, what are they good for if they're not going to do what they're supposed to do? I mean, I know we need police, and I think we need to respect the police, but they need to do their job, man. You're supposed to protect and serve, and they're just not doing it. And to be honest, it's racially profiled, especially to us, our black people, man. We're getting killed out here, and just getting treated like we ain't nothing, And it has to stop. It has to stop, man. So I understand with this. I'm as a sports fan, and I'm gonna touch on it when I'm about to talk about the NBA and the NFL, but. I'm glad that the players stepped up and took a stand, and I was on the fence a little bit about it because I was like, I just thought, I didn't see what change would it make, but it made a big impact for especially the Bucks because of the playoff game. I think that's why theirs is so significant because it's a playoff game. Like you're willing to sacrifice your season, when the Bucks is one of the favorites to win a championship, and they was decided to sit down. And like I said, I'm gonna talk about that too. But I just wanted to rant about the situation, the Jacob Blake situation. It's inexcusable. The cops need to pay. The cops need to pay for Breonna Taylor as well. And it shouldn't take no protest. It should be common sense. But because we're black, that's what we gotta deal with every day, man. Like it's terrible, man. The NFL less than 2 weeks away. I sort of lost train of thought a little bit. So that means next week, this Thursday, I have a special. So I'm gonna start putting some notes together. I'll preview the whole season. Hopefully, we have a season. Everything been going well so far. Teams been practicing. There's been a few positive tests here and there, but overall they've been doing pretty well. Now I guess it's going to be when they start traveling. How would that work? So we'll see. College football starts today too. I think some smaller conferences that didn't shut down play today. So I'm sure it's on TV somewhere. Be good to see some football. I might try to actually do some research and check it out myself. So I'm gonna do a special this week. It'll be episode 136, Thursday, which I think is September 3rd or 4th. The first is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I think the 3rd is Thursday, I believe. So September 3rd, I'll be doing a wall-to-wall NFL preview game. Who I think will make it to the Super Bowl. MVP predictions, all the whole yard. So I'm gonna get that together. Probably starting Tuesday. Start writing some notes, getting things together. breaking down the NFL. Let's get to the NBA. I usually do the NFL last, but the NBA has just been this was a crazy week in the NBA. There haven't been no games since Tuesday. Like I said, the Milwaukee Bucks took a stand, didn't tell anyone that they was doing it, decided to boycott their Game 5 game against the Orlando Magic. The Magic was out there practice, shooting around and was ready to play. Bucks had never come out the locker room. Supposedly, they sort of made this decision rationally, like in the last minute. It wasn't like they planned this ahead of time. So they stayed in the locker room. The game wasn't played, and the other games was canceled. Thunder Rockets Game 5, and then the Lakers Blazers Game 5. All those games was canceled. And they haven't played since then, which is supposed to be Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so 3 days with no basketball. Today, though, we have some basketball. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But just to give you a broad look at everything that's going on there. So Wednesday night, the players had a meeting. I believe it was a Zoom call with the owners. And they took a vote, like who want to continue with the season. Do you want to just shut the season down? And the only two teams that said yeah they would stop is the Lakers and the Clippers, which was big news because the Lakers and the Clippers are also title contenders. So if those two teams leave it, I'm assuming the Bucks will probably walk as well for them to take the stand that they took. They're the 3 top teams that's supposed to win this thing, or favored to win it. So that would put a big mocha rinse into this playoff, NBA bubble playoffs and everything. So then there's been rumors coming out. Well, I don't want to say rumors, but basically LeBron was very, very upset. Felt like he was blindsided by what the Bucks did. He was a little angry. Said some choice words, said something basically about something him being above everybody else, and that rubs some people the wrong way, and so it was a real heated meeting. Then they met again Thursday, and that's what they decided. They did decide to continue the season, so games will pick back up today. But like I said, these players, the NBA is predominantly black. It hurts. This thing hurts people, man. Like what happened hurts. The Bucks, that's right there. Coesha, I think I'm saying the city right. Wisconsin is only basically 40 miles from Milwaukee, so the Bucks just, they just was like, no, we're not going to play today. I think we need to, talk about police brutality and racial injustice. So the players, they all came out. They spoke to the media, basically voicing they thoughts and their opinions and they hurt and they pain. Players coming down to tears of how hurt they are or how tired they are, because and everybody will say most of those players don't have to deal with that stuff, but actually they still do, and the real big thing that they were saying was they tired of being entertainers. We're not just entertainers, we're human, we're black. Please respect us, because like even to go back to the old times, when white people don't mind us entertaining them. Like, dude, that's fine. Like, you can entertain me, but you can't have equal rights as me. You can't, back in that time, you can't use the same bathroom as me. But I watch you box. I watch you tap dance. I watch you act. Or entertain me all day long. So for that perspective, like, because like I said, when they first, when the Bucks first did what they did, I was like, I was sort of mixed. I was like, yeah. I understand that why they took the stand that they took, but it was like, man, Like I was just saying, man. Honestly, I had no hope. Like, ain't nobody gonna do anything. Like, this ain't gonna accomplish anything. But it actually did. Like, they got to talk to the attorney general, and I think the governor of Milwaukee. Um, they got the owners are now starting to listen. Like Michael Jordan has made some news this week. He's been the forefront. When he was a player, he was criticized for this very thing, for not being political, just sort of staying in his lane, and just try to build his business. But now he's the only, not just in the NBA, he's the only black owner in sports, period. The only black owner, I think the only other minority owner is, I think the Jaguars owner, the NFL, Jacksonville Jaguars, I think he's Spanish or something, I don't think he's white. But I think other than that, this is basically Michael Jordan, and he's been the bridge to try to get the other owners to listen and do some things. One thing that they did get accomplished was they're going to make all the NBA arenas around the country. So, for example, I'll use the Bucks. Just the Bucks pretty much got the ball rolling on this. They home stadium will be like a voting registration, or so where you go and vote. They're trying to push people to vote. LeBron James, even before the bubble, got his voting program. And LeBron James has done a lot. He got a little bit of criticism for what he said. He must have said something, like he's above everybody else. Maybe he shouldn't have said that, but to be real, he is. He is above everybody else. He's the face of the NBA, and he's also been the forefront of these issues way before now, But I mean, I think he just lost his cool a little bit. Probably just felt blindsided. Just wanted to be more united, but now everybody's united again, and we had basketball today. And I'm happy as a fan. I didn't want the season to end, but the more and more days went by, I was like, I understand why the Bucks did what they did. I understand the stand that everybody took. Not said I didn't. I just was like, hopefully somebody listened, and somebody did. So the owners are listening, and they're gonna do things. And now that they know, now it's time for action. It's they wear. You got Black Lives Matter on the court. You got the players wearing the things on their jerseys, the coaches and everybody, but they just symbols. Like, what are we gonna really do? What are we gonna do to make a change? And everybody trying to push for this November election, which has already been hijacked by Trump. Things he's doing with the mail and all that. I honestly believe that's true. And I think he's trying to hold on to his seat. He ain't trying to give up his seat. Try to get that second term. So it's gonna be interesting the next few months with that, with this NBA and everything else. It's gonna be very interesting. But I'm proud of the players for taking their stand. Like I said, it just proves that they care about what's going on, because this is the playoffs. Like, this is do or die. This is what you basically train your whole life for, worked your whole life for, and you're willing to just let that go just to see a change. And I appreciated it. I didn't appreciate it from the beginning, probably because I was like, man, no basketball. Honestly, I sit up here and say that. I was like, man, ain't gonna be no basketball. Is they gonna, hopefully somebody do something, but they got some stuff done. So now it'll be easier to vote in most cities in America. And I think with everybody see what's going on with the mail, I think a lot of people is going to come out and vote. I really believe so. Now, I had my views on voting. I had them for the years. I'm not real big on it, to be honest with you. But these last few years, since Trump has gotten in office, I have opened my eyes like, well, yeah, maybe I should vote. Even if I feel like it's fab, it's fixed, or it's being basically like they're cheating, but they probably cheated in every election. Maybe my vote will matter. So I've been thinking about it hard. So I might try to resident vote myself this year. But it's crazy, man. But I appreciate the NBA and what they have done. Now let's just talk about some basketball now. Let's talk about some basketball. We do got some basketball tonight. I think the Bucks and the Magic gets started again at 3:30. Bucks trying to close out that series. This is the first round. They got 3-1. Then you got Thunder Rockets after that. Westbrook probably be back, which is big for the Rockets. Get them right back. So this sort of helps them because he was going to try to play Wednesday, but he still was a little gimpy. But now they say he's almost looked like 100%. They say he looks good at practice. So who's to get him back? That'd be huge for the Rockets. That series tied at 2-2 as Oklahoma City was able to bounce back and tie that series up a few days ago. And the final game is the Lakers and the Blazers. No Damian Lillard, even though the day's off, he still dealing with that knee. So that's a big loss for the Blazers. It's probably over for the Blazers. I think the Lakers should close them out tonight. I think the Bucks will close out the Magic. Yeah, I think if Westbrook plays, I think Houston will take advantage and win that. The rest of the series, so they're going to start it off from what it's supposed to be Wednesday, and just moving on from there. So tomorrow we got the rest of the series. Well, the Eastern Conference semis caught between the Celtics and the Raptors. That's going to be a huge series. So we'll see what happens with that. Clippers and Mavericks continue as Clippers took a 3-2 lead as they blew out the Mavs last time they was on the floor. So that's a game 6. So they'll try to close out Dallas. No Kristaps, he's done for the rest of this series. So that's huge. Let's see if the Clippers can get this one. I don't know. I'm not going to. I think they will, but I think Clippers was really affected by what happened. Will their head be all the way in the game? And Dallas, can they bounce back? We'll see. And the other series out there is out west. What's that other series? Let's think 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Utah, Denver, and Denver stayed alive. So that's 3-2. So that's tomorrow. So I think Utah will win that series as well. I think Donovan Mitchell. It's been unbelievable. Jamal Murray as well. Jamal Murray. He's been carrying the Nuggets scoring wise. I think Jokic, the Joker, need to step up a little bit for Denver. But I wouldn't be shocked if they force a game 7. But Utah looks pretty good, at least in this series. So we'll see what happens there. So that's all starts today. And everything, things supposed to change. The owner's supposed to do their part. So if they do, we still have basketball. Now, I wanted to talk about Kobe Bryant. I really wanted to talk about him longer, but now that everything that happened this week, my video will probably be kind of long. But Kobe Bryant's birthday was last Sunday, the 23rd. So Nike and the NBA and a lot of other things were celebrating them this week. It's sort of put on the back burner now. Again, I say again because I think coronavirus. I think I mentioned this to somebody the other day. I think coronavirus made Kobe Bryant's death sort of. I mean, it sort of diminished it a little bit. Not diminishing his legacy and stuff like that. It's just people just stopped talking about it, And but I've been thinking about it all year long. Like I was just, I still remember when I found out. I was just in shock, man. Like I couldn't believe he was gone. And I'm not discounting the other people's lives that lost their lives that day. 9 people total, including his daughter. But we got to be honest. Kobe Bryant, was a big impact on this world, man. Like, it's just still unbelievable that he's gone. He would have celebrated his 42nd birthday, and it's just sad, man. Like every time, still thinking about it, it's like just still hard to believe. But they were showing, Like they did, ESPN did a interesting piece on him. Like split between, like he actually wore 8 for half his career and 24 for the other half, like exactly 10 years each, which is I didn't know that. But they break down every both 10 years. They were saying, well, basically they made an argument that, you know, just like how the Lakers hung up both his numbers, you could say that his both his, you know, his number 8 career, like if say they was 2 different people, it could be 2 Hall of Fame careers in one career. So which is interesting, but I think that's true. You know, I read it a little bit. But Kobe, I mean, he, you know, it's just sad because he really was happy, man. He was content with not playing anymore, taking care of his family, spending time with his daughter, especially the daughter, Gigi, that was with him on a helicopter crash, unfortunately. Teaching her the game of basketball. He won an Oscar by writing his little short stories and everything. Kobe Bryant was he was a good person, man. Like, everybody had flaws. He made his mistakes. We all know what his mistakes was. But people still continue to break up, which is fine. Like, I don't have a problem with it per se. But, you know, but I know how the world, you know, the world works like this. You know, the bad stuff is always gonna overshadow the good. No matter how much good you do one bad thing, people never gonna forget that. And they're gonna judge you. Some people gonna judge you. And that'll be it, you know. They just have their view on you. But like I said, I mean, I always liked the Kobe Bryant, but I think once he died, like that just happens with anything. Once the person dies or that person's gone, you value them more, like you appreciate them more, which is sad, you know. But I was always a big fan of his. Like, to me, he's third all time to be under LeBron and Michael Jordan. Well, fourth, I'm sorry. I probably would put him fourth or fifth. I got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar third. I can't forget about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. A lot of people do. I just did again. I just did. So, but Kobe definitely in my top 5. Like, I don't know if it's fourth or fifth. I probably have to really, I guess I'm going to do that soon. Like, who my top 5 players are of all time in the NBA. But, I just feel like he wasn't celebrated enough this week because of what happened. Not saying that what happened was not important, but I just wish he was celebrated a little bit more this week. I think it was supposed to be his week, and sort of got swept under the rug because of the Jacob Blake situation. And maybe it should, but I just want to say some few words about him because he deserves it, and hope he's rested in peace. Hope his family is somewhat healed by now, even though I don't think he never healed from anything like that. But hopefully they at least got some type of peace. And all the rest of the families that lost family members that day, you know, it was a married couple, and they're thinking their daughter included in the 9. It was a baseball coach. So it was a lot of impactful people on that helicopter, not just Kobe Bryant. And I say that all the time, but Kobe, I mean, Kobe is Kobe. So he's going to get the most attention, unfortunately, you know, but I just wanted to say a few words to Kobe, you know, about Kobe. I was going to do something longer, but I felt like I had to also speak on the protesters and everything this week. Alright, but that about wraps this up. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video in a little bit. Just some final thoughts here. Like I said, the death of Chadwick Boseman was a shock to me because I didn't even know he was battling cancer. And I didn't know he played Jackie Robinson in the Jackie Robinson movie either. So all this I just learned today, this morning, really. But he died. He only was 43 years old, so he died relatively young. Black Panther. I wonder how they're gonna Marvel gonna, you know, because he was a huge character in the Marvel series now. But it's sad, man, when somebody lose their life at such a young age, man. 43 is young. You know, relatively young, man, to die. You know, just don't have enough time. But my condolences to his family and everything. It was a shock to me. I just found out this morning. I think it happened last night. I think the news broke last night, but I got up early this morning and saw it. It's kind of sad, man. So I just wanted to, touch on that. I like the Black Panther movie. I seen. Do we have two? I think. No, well, he was in the Avengers as well. Man, I never knew he was battling cancer, man. He had to be doing this when he was working, So he was strong to do that. I know he had to be dealing with it when he was acting and working. So that's just another sad story. This year has just been terrible. 2020 is gonna go down as it's gonna be a memorable year, but man, what a year, man. Like, I don't care who you are, everybody dealing with something, man. Like, it's terrible, man. It's just can't wait for all this to be over. I can't wait till this coronavirus thing get under control. I feel like it's sort of under control, but not quite. Still no vaccine or anything, so things still will be up in the air. Here in Maryland, they try to send kids back to school. I don't think that's a good idea. And I think parents ain't gonna go for that. I think most parents ain't gonna go for it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. This year has just been out of this mind. I can't believe it. Like, it's like a big bad dream. Like, all this stuff happened there. People dying that you don't expect to die. It's just crazy. But as far as for my channel, notice I ain't done any Cuphead videos in about a week now. It's because honestly I'm stuck on this one level, and I'm trying to finish it. Maybe I'll try to do something today. I don't know. I put a Call of Duty video up for the first time in a long time. My free-for-all playing, so yeah, I'll just continue to do that. Looking to Madden this week, so I'll probably get Madden soon. It just came out Friday, but I definitely want to get Madden this year. So hopefully I can get that and have maybe put a few videos of that up. Pick a team and play a season out or something. But that'll do it this week. Like I said, I got a special this week, Thursday, September 3rd, NFL's preview special as the season starts the following Thursday, so I'll do a video that Thursday. And then we're going to start doing our Thursday night football videos again, so definitely take a look out for that next month. And I'll see you next month. I'll see you next Thursday. Hopefully everybody have a good weekend. Be safe if you're on the West Coast. If you're on the East Coast. Remnants of Hurricane Laura is coming. Like, I'm in Maryland. We're supposed to get some bad weather, or already started raining here. So be careful out there with that. And just be careful, period. Corona's still out there as well, so don't forget that. I'm Troy West said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for everybody that's been in my corner. Like I said, I don't talk about it that much, but it's been a rough week for me as well. Dealing with some personal things. And it's hard, but I'm glad I'm able to come here every week and talk a little bit about sports and I guess other things this week, but just everybody be safe, continue to love each other, and I'll talk to you guys Thursday. Thank you so much for watching.